Did you know that in the year 2023, 15% of property purchases were made by foreign buyers? And according to the Spanish Registrars Association, that is 87,000 homes were sold to foreign buyers. And in hotspots like Alicante, 44% of properties were sold to foreigners. Spain is about to align things back again by solving its housing crisis. And one of the key things that is about to be launched this year is imposing 100% property tax on people who are going to be buying property in Spain, precisely non-EU citizens. Let's see what this entails and if it's going to help curb the housing crisis in Spain. Let's break this down together.
Nomads.
Hola to those, you're welcome again to Nomads. This is a channel whereby we talk about travel, culture, and everything within about Spain. Yes, it's the first quarter of 2025 and something big is on the road. Yes, if you've ever considered moving to Spain or you don't live here or you're looking at investing in Spain in the future, then this video is for you because I am going to be talking about the housing reform for 2025. Of course, you and I know that last year there were lots of protests across Spain, people complaining about how the housing system has gone up in price and the locals can no longer invest, and most of them have the properties slipping out right out of their hands in their own eyes. And just at the first quarter of 2025, the news came on us as a big shock. Yes, Pedro Sanchez, who is the Prime Minister of Spain, has launched out a big, bold housing reform for the whole of Spain. Yes. And I'm going to be explaining, I'm going to be telling you what it means and how it affects you as somebody who wants to invest in Spain. So let's dive in. Spain housing crisis is absolutely real. Yes, every of the news, every of the thing you read on the media concerning Spain is totally real. Yes, and this is due to three main factors. Number one is how most of the houses are being bought by foreigners and converted to holiday homes with exorbitant rent prices. Yes, that counts too. And number two is how most of the houses that were supposed to be long term, inform giving people the opportunity to rent for long term, are now converted to Airbnbs, creating more competition for the already available houses that are used for long term. And lastly is the property price surge in these tourist hotspots. In places like Madrid, Barcelona, Malaga, you can barely get a house, maybe a one-room apartment for less than 800 euro, except it's a shared apartment. So all this and more have been going on, and Spain says it's time to cap it all, to wrap it all, and see if this reform of the 2025 launched out by the Prime Minister is going to solve the problem. Well, let's look into it and see what it actually entails. Actually, a lot of people have been capitalizing on how the 100% tax on property. Yes, that is what you see everywhere on the media. Spain has imposed 100% tax on property, but there is more to it. There's more explanation that you should know in order for you to be duly informed about this new housing reform. So let's go on. Now, let's talk about how the 100% tax on property purchases actually works. We are going to talk about how it applies, who it applies to, and what is the goal. Yes. So, folks, let's talk about how the 100% property tax works. Number one, who does it apply to? It applies to non-EU buyers. Yes, people who do not want to live permanently in Spain but just have the sole intention of buying a property, maybe for investment and going back to their home country, and they are just coming in and out of Spain. Yes, these are the categories of persons that are going to be affected by this 100% property tax. And number two is that when does it apply? Yes, this is a one-time payment made upon the purchase of the property. Yes, it's not a continuous thing that you're going to be paying 100% taxes continuously or something. It only applies to when you're going to buy the property. Yes, for instance, you're paying 500,000 euro for a property, you are going to pay an extra 500,000 euro for the taxes, which is summing up to 1 million euros. Yes, so that is exorbitant, right? I think the main aim of the government is actually to contain the fast rising rate of holiday homes or property investment in Spain, in the sense that people who do not want to live here permanently will have the sole purpose of having a vacation home or holiday home, and it just to see if it can actually lessen the demand for property in Spain. Yes, because I, for one, I have experienced the first hand of struggling to get a good property. Yes, a place to rent that is to my taste and to live, because lots of the houses are so expensive, and I was very glad that at least the government has looked into helping this issue. But then I do not feel like this is a perfect solution, but it's actually a step towards the solution. What do you think of this 100% tax reform? And mind you, the people who are exempt are the residents of Spain. That means if you want to be exempt from this particular tax reform, you have to be living in Spain for some period of time before looking into buying property. That way, the taxes will not apply to you. Well, I just gave you a hint. You will say thank you for that. Comment gracias on the comment. Another thing to note is the regional differences in taxes or implementation. Yes, that is the government, the central government has actually spoken or passed out these plans that he has to curb the fast rising prices of houses. But then it depends on the autonomous communities. Yes, the autonomous communities have the power to decide if they are going to accept this and what they are going to do towards it. Yes, because the way Spain's government is structured is it gives the autonomous community their own power, their own voice to speak. They have their own government, they have their own system, and so that is just a side note for you to know. It depends on the regional differences. Some regions might choose to go in 100% tax, and some regions might not accept the reform that the government is actually putting out there. Just a side note. Now, like I told you, this 100% tax reform is just one piece of the puzzle. There are other reforms that have been rolled out or given out by the government to curb housing crisis, and we are going to be having a look. I actually did some deep research, and it's best to read them directly in order for you to get accurate information. Number one is public housing expansion. Spain will repurpose 30,000 properties owned by the state controlled Sareb, also known as Bad Bank. These homes, once toxic assets from the financial crisis, will be refurbished and rented out at affordable prices. Okay, let me explain this. Spain, there are some properties that are owned and they are not legally registered. Some of them give out their homes illegally as holiday apartments when they have not gotten the license to do so. So most of these houses, about 30,000 proposed, if they are up to that number, will be taken by the government, refurbished, and rented out at affordable prices. So the goal is to provide more rental options for young people and low income families. Yes. The next one is permanent public ownership. New public housing will stay in the government hands forever. No more selling subsidized homes to private buyers, which has previously undermined affordable housing efforts. So the public housing is going to stay in the government's hands. There's no more selling of the public houses to the private buyers. Okay, that is going to go up. And number three is faster, cheaper construction. So Spain plans to use modular industrialized construction techniques to build homes faster at lower cost and with better public environmental sustainability. Yes. So I guess this is a good one, right? I think the environment should be put into consideration in all of this. And the next one is the public guarantee system. The government will guarantee rent payments for landlords who participate in affordable rental programs. This encourages landlords to rent their property long term without worrying about missed payment. Oh, this is so good. Like the government will guarantee payment for landlords. Wow. Who participate in the affordable rental program. That's a good one. I think most landlords will key into this. And the next one is the vacant property rehabilitation. Yes, grants will be offered to property owners to renovate unused homes provided they commit to renting them affordably for at least 5 years. Oh, wow. These are just in an effort to encourage people to lessen their rental prices. It says that grants will be offered to property owners to renovate unused homes. Wow, that's good. That's good. That's good. Maybe property owners who have abandoned their homes, maybe due to lack of finance to maintain and all that. They will be giving grants to renovate their unused homes with a commitment to renting at an affordable price for at least 5 years. Yes. The next one is tax break for fair rent. Wow, like the government is really trying to actually bring down the housing prices. Spain used to be so cheap. Spain has this impression of cheap place to live, but then so far it hasn't been the way it was before. And I really commend the Prime Minister of Spain for doing all this. Just imagine tax breaks for fair rent, like landlords who follow government price guidelines for rent will receive 100% income tax exemption. Wow.
I wish I was a landlord right now.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. And the next one is a regulation of short-term rentals. In areas with housing shortages, Airbnb style properties will be taxed as economic activities, including VAT. This could discourage turning homes into short term rentals. Okay. That means the Airbnbs, the holiday apartments, if you have interest of doing that in the future, just know that you are going to be taxed. And there will be new rental controls. Yes, rent increases will be limited by inflation rates, preventing sudden hikes in rental prices. And the next one is support for first time home buyers, government backed loans. Oh, this is nice. If you're looking to buy a property and you already live in Spain, I guess this one will be for you. Support for first time home buyers. Government backed loans and grants will help first time buyers, particularly young people and families, get on the property ladder. Wow, this sounds cool. Yeah. And the next one is social housing for vulnerable groups. A portion of a new housing will be specifically allocated for vulnerable groups, including seniors, people with disabilities, and low income families. Oh my, this is nice. The next one is affordable housing targets for developers. Property developers will be required to set aside a percentage of their new developments for affordable housing. Wow. Okay. And the next one is, I guess this is the last one, enhance transparency in the house market. Like a national register will be created to track vacant properties, uh, rental prices, and property ownership to improve transparency and combat speculation. This is actually nice. I almost fell into the hands of a scammer one time. I went to the app, what's it called? The website where people actually search for houses or to know to rent an apartment. If you don't know, it is called Idealista. Actually, Idealista has helped me in getting a good apartment, but then I almost fell into the hands of a scammer who told me he was using his mother's phone to communicate. I asked to see the house before renting, and he said,
No, you don't need to see. You can actually see it on the picture.
Ah, keep your mama's spoon now. That
so this is a good one. Enhance transparency in the housing market. Like you're gonna be seeing the vacant houses, rental prices. I just hope that the autonomous community can actually see the light of what Pedro Sanchez is trying to do. I think it's a good one, and I hope they actually accept it. Well, that is the 12 reforms. Yes, all this and more is just to uh, encourage landlords to put in their property for long terms in order for the locals and people who are genuine investors to have a property or a place to stay, live, and purchase. Well, what do you think about all this? Do you think this is a solution to curbing the housing crisis in Spain? Well, I, for one, I think it's a step towards it. And I'd like to know your opinion, your thoughts as well. So kindly comment below and let's share our thoughts together. Okay, folks, I've actually said a lot and a lot in this video. I don't intend for this video to be too long. I decided to explain it in order for people not just to go about having the impression that, oh, I can't buy a property in Spain anymore, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, you actually know what's in it for you right now, especially if you're a resident. Actually advise anyone living in Spain right now to actually look into acquiring a property with all this stated and all the backups, the grants, the loans. I think is a good one, a good step towards acquiring a property and having a genuine investment in Spain. Well, that is it. We have come to the end of this video. Please can you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share with somebody. Yes, you just can never know who you're going to help with this information. Remember, information is power. See you next time. Adios. Bye for now.